So I'm here with Martin Pardey, who is the Director of Digital Technology at Hays. Hello, Martin.
Hi, how you doing?
Could you tell us a little bit of what that involves? Because Hays is a recruitment company, and what does it involve being a Director of the Digital Technology Division?
Yeah, of course. So we've recognised that the world of work is changing and there's a whole load of new technology skill sets that are required out there. So we've recently launched our Digital Technology Division to start to build our expertise in those areas and supply the thirst for new technology talents out there. So we're looking at recruiting people within digital marketing, within data analytics and data science, cybersecurity, and some of the more modern development technologies. So yeah, that's why we're here today to contribute to Silicon Beach over these 2 days and help to contribute to the local flourishing digital economy.
So one of the things that we sort of know from the IBM's research they did a few years ago, where they found that the top CEOs around the world said that creativity was a skill that they wanted to recruit for most within their companies. Are you finding that there's particular industries that are more interested in looking for creativity, and then maybe other industries that aren't actually that interested in creativity?
Yeah, of course. I think outside of the technical and creative industries themselves, I think every type of industry is looking to harness new technology and are looking at ways in which they can use that technology to better their businesses and provide better services to their customers. So I don't really feel that it's isolated to particular industries. Some industries need to catch up a little bit on that journey, and we're seeing lots of big organisations that are creating innovation hubs and creativity teams that can really come in and test new technology and see how it works for their businesses.
Are you finding that people themselves who are looking for jobs, the candidates,
Yep.
there's more candidates looking for creative opportunities within the roles that they're seeking? Is that a trend?
Yeah, I think especially in technology roles, there is a real thirst from candidates to find roles that enable them to harness their creative instincts. So I think candidates by choice are actually now sometimes choosing roles with companies that can offer them that creative platform where they can test new technology, where they can create new products and services rather than a standard sort of 9-to-5 coding job, for instance. Again, big corporate organisations need to sometimes catch up on that journey a little bit to compete with some of the technology and creative industries to harness the best talent. There's a need from a company perspective to find creative people, but equally to create creative roles and create space and time for those people to innovate and be creative.
So if you're an organisation and you're wanting to hire people for a creative role, and you're not in the creative industry, so people don't quite get it, how do you recruit for that? I mean, when it comes to actually sort of, what do you say when you're advertising, or do you need to find the candidates using a different way, and then when it comes to the interviewing them, is there a different interview process that's needed?
The CV is getting a little bit outdated in some of the creative spaces and some of the technology spaces, and actually employers are really looking for people to be able to showcase, for candidates to showcase their technology and their creative talents. So things like portfolios are really important. Being able to have examples of things that you've done outside of work as well as in previous jobs is again very, very important. It's a tough balancing act because not every company you're not able to showcase examples of work from previous companies. So again, having that passion and that interest outside of work really shows employers that you've got a passion for what you do and you can create and innovate outside of just your 9-to-5 job.
That's a really interesting thing, because then is there more pressure on people who are going for jobs to just work constantly, whether they're in the 9-to-5 or not? They're just constantly having to work on their own career progression. Is there more pressure now on people?
I don't know if there's more pressure on people. I think I was having an interesting conversation with somebody yesterday who headed up an innovation team, and he was saying the lines between personal life and working life are blurred, not from a work-life balance perspective, but actually from an enjoyment and fulfillment perspective. So if you're really, really passionate about what you do, actually you do bits of it outside of your working life anyway, and it's bringing those examples to the table at a job interview or when you're meeting prospective employers that is really important. I think as well, when we look to the future, we'll see the ways in which people are engaging with talent change. So employers will be testing more. There's a whole argument around the gamification of engaging with candidates and talent, and virtual reality and things like that, which I think will change the way that people are engaging and hiring talent moving forwards.
So what kind of things are you seeing at the moment, or maybe things that people are talking about happening in the future that could be sort of interesting or slightly revolutionary approaches to recruitment?
Yeah, well, I think certainly engaging with Generation Y, the gamification of candidate engagement is already out there. We use it ourselves at Hays. Getting people to take a game to test their skills, but also to take them through a process that actually showcases what they can do and shows that they're really committed to following a career with Hays, for instance, is something that we do. There's lots of organisations out there that are also doing that already. I think eventually, like we say, you'd probably be maybe undertake a first stage interview with a computer in the future. Have a virtual interview which will then assess you, grade you. It will test really core skills that you've got before you even engage with somebody on a face-to-face basis. I think will be the future.
So do you see the future of work being more creative and more flexible than it is now?
I think the world of work, of course, will change, and we see a lot of press around the automation of human jobs, and obviously the press sensationalise it in the fact that there'll be no jobs in the future because we'll all be, all our jobs will be taken by robots. But actually, I think it's there will be different jobs out there. And people need to, guys coming through university now are learning a whole set of different skills than they were 10, 20 years ago. So the jobs that are out there will change. They will become more digital. They'll become more technology focused, and I think there's an opportunity also for people to retrain in those spaces and upskill themselves now to preempt that and to put themselves in a good position moving forwards into the future. I think the world of work will change dramatically over the next 10 to 20 years. We're already seeing a big demand for data scientists, for software development, and for creative people within marketing and customer engagement. So I think those are going to be the key areas over the next 5 to 10 years within our industry.
Fantastic. Martin, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers. Just make sure there's no spinach in your teeth. And